Hello, I'm EmmaSwift, and welcome back to another live stream on the internet. Today, I was, going to be covering my Nether in ice, and I figured, it'd be kind of fun. It'd be kind of fun if we hung out, and we did precisely that too. Because today, in the UK, is kind of a significant day. It's the first day that we're on, official lockdown, and that's, a scary thing for a lot of people, I understand there are some people who are super into the outdoors and the world and stuff, even if I'm not hugely always one of them. And I figured, for people who are in the same boat as me, let's hang out together, let's make it all okay, and let's, most importantly, place some ice in the Nether over my Netherrack. Because you know what? Netherrack's nice and all, but you know what's nice? Wait, do you know what's icer? Wait. There's a joke with nice in here. I should have made it before we started. Damn it. Let's restart it all and let's get this done. Anyway, hello. I'm EmmaSwift. Hope you're having a great day. Also, we cannot place ice close to these, so we're actually gonna have to remove the glowstone, which, I mean, that glowstone's nice. That's fine enough with me, I guess. But, yeah, hello, EmmaSwift. Hope you're having a great day. We are going to be, hopefully having transformed the Nether by the end of today, because we've got a little bit of ice placed right now, but I'm hoping by the end of this we have a lot more. And, yeah, I'm actually gonna go ahead and make a little ice pillar up here. I could use scaffolding and, have something that's non-reversible, but I think it's kind of more thematic to use ice, because we make a little pillar, we make our own little unique structure here. And in case you're curious as to why we're directly placing over each individual Netherrack block, why are we replacing it as opposed to making our own thing? It's so we can keep the structure and the shape of the Nether just while still being kind of icy. That's part of the beauty, in my opinion, of what we're doing here. Or that's why I like it, and hopefully you agree. Hello, so happy to see you. I hope your day has been beautiful, says SarahBurke. It's actually been a pretty good day. It's been the slowest day in the world. By the time I was starting to do actual, important stuff in my day, it was 5 PM, because I woke up at 12:30, played Animal Crossing for an hour, because of course, you gotta do that. And by the time I was done with shopping and everything else, it was 5 PM, and it's wow, that is a day that's gone, which is always scary. When a day vanishes into thin air, you're how many days do I have left? If I live for another 60 years or so, which is probably optimistic, but I live for 60 years, 365 days of the year. It's there's 20,000 of these things, lying around, and if they just vanish like that in front of you, you start to realize that man, that's a real worry. Anyway, let's not get existential in the first 5 minutes. Let's instead say thank you, EmmaSwift. Thank you, streaming light. Was getting kind of bored. Stream tonight was getting kind of bored. Yeah, I totally feel the thing of there is now a need for more content than there's ever been, but there's fewer people able to do it, and it's you know what? Even on the days where it's which is why I feel this is a weird thing, but it's now's the time to step up in your own little way. Actually, rather than making this about me, because I can talk about myself all day, as anyone probably can, right? You know what? The thing you have the most exposure to in the world, you might think that it's cabbages, or you might think that it's whatever else you care about most. The thing that you interact with mostly on a daily basis is yourself, right? I can't be the only one who has regular internal monologues and full on sometimes not quite just disagreements, but it's called cognitive dissonance, where you're not quite sure what to do. A part of your brain wants to do one thing, a part of your brain wants to do the other thing, and that it's a feeling you should ideally avoid. You should have 100% of yourself working for the same thing. And yeah, as a result, I can talk about me, but instead, let me just talk real briefly for anyone out there who is in the same situation. Man, kind of bored, right? It sure would be nice to do insert blank thing here. It seems I've seen a lot of people kind of spiral into a weird place because of what's happening right now. But I'd like to see it the opposite way. Right now is probably, although it's one of the weirdest, most unique times in history. Oh yeah, may you live in interesting times is what we've ended up with right now. By the way, thank you so much. Oh, I don't have the tab open. That's why I can't see the things. But now it's one of the most interesting times in history to live, to be alive in a way, I would say. And the thing about that's the reason I say that is because you're now in a situation where you can do a great, because the meaning, finding meaning is something everyone struggles with all the time. Right now, you have meaning just by existing in the world and existing somewhere indoors away from other people. Imagine that. There is not only just a little meaning, there is some great, human goods you can do. Also, thank you, Shannon Francis and Ronnie Shaheen, but and Jonas 04. But yeah, how many times in history have you been able to do this great thing just by existing? And in fact, literally, like, usually society requires so much from you, like, to be, you know, good, you know, like, to exist, you can do very little in the world anyway. But, like, right now, it's like, hey, the thing the world wants most from you, more than anything else, is to just do whatever you want to do as long as it's inside. That is a cool opportunity. Like, you can contribute to humanity in whichever big way you want to, just by playing Minecraft, which is, you know, something I want to encourage as best I can for obvious and non-obvious reasons. Also, thank you very much, Moo. Always very confused, but thank you very much, Mr. Moo, for the addition to the confusing super chat train. But yeah, so I just wanted to mention that, like, hey, if you ever feel like bummed, if you ever feel like this is like a bad thing, it's a cool thing if you like to feel, if you want to help, if you want to, you know, whether it's you, if you want to help yourself, if you want to help the world, now's the easiest time to be able to do that in the grand sense, you know. There are some people who have to do a lot, and if you're one of those people, of course, that's a tricky thing. But for the vast majority of people who are like scared and worried and anxious, it's like, you know what? You can do this wonderful thing. I'm out of lesbian copy because of lockdown, says Abigail Palmer. I have a fun story, actually, you know, just as a fun little, before we move on, because, you know, let's not talk about it all day. People want to get out of their lives, that's why I want to play Minecraft as we do this. Because, you know, again, I want to remind people that there's like an infinite amount of stuff out there, and I want to add to that pile as much as I humanly can to help anyone in that same situation. But I was in, just so like one last little anecdote. The thing I did today, I went shopping because I needed food, and I was like, you know what? Things are getting sure rough. I should probably have food in my house, eh? So I got a little bit of food, like literally a basket full. Funnily enough, I didn't decide to buy 12 of every item in the store. It's very weird that happened somehow. But yeah, basically, I wanted to you know, get some stuff, and one of the things that's just interesting now is like, oh yeah, have you seen how insert thing here is out of stock? And in the UK, our tea aisle was entirely gone. There were like 3 teas left. There was just an entirely blank shelf where the tea was, and it's like, man, you know what? You know, like in times like this, it's fun that like people are like, you know what? I'm just going out to buy the essentials. You know, bread, milk, toilet paper, tea, of course. Like, you know, what point is there living inside if there is no tea? And I find that beautiful. Aha, funny words of Toy Cat. So thank you very much, Gamer Peeps. Rip middle school for me. Also, Abigail Bahama said, come to my lesbian Starbucks, we're still open. Let's see. Look, we've fixed it, internet. Everyone can all socially source the stuff together. But yeah, anyway. So leaving that aside, other things in the world. Do you want to talk about? Some you know, some Nevery stuff? Like, actually, you know, what have I been doing while I've been inside? Because I'm kind of like, everyone's always like, oh, I don't know what to do inside. I feel like I'm going crazy. And it's like, welcome to my world, internet. But more seriously, it is kind of like, oh yeah, here's my pro tip. Because playing games sounds like the best thing, but I'm sure everyone must have this exact same thing as me, where like, playing games is really great. We have to get more ice. We only have so much in the Nether. Most of it comes from the overworld, so we're gonna have to do a few ferry trips back and forth. It's gonna be hugely efficient. Actually, wait, I might have. No, I don't know where I put the shock boxes. So Cat, why don't you cover your overworld with something for once? Nah, you know what? The Nether gets covered. That's just how this one goes. Fun thing is to trap a Ravager from a raid. Oh, that's a cool idea, actually. Oh, speaking of raids, I've had this bad omen on for a while. I'm gonna do something unthinkable. Just because it frustrates me seeing the white sparkles, I'm gonna get rid of it by drinking milk. It's gone. It's a waste of an effect, but pro tip, you can remove any effect in Minecraft using milk. Should you do it? That's a question. Sari says, rate my name, please. My name is Sari, like Carrie with an S. Okay, Sari, thank you so much. If you don't know, down in the description, you can buy merch, and it'll show up on the screen like a stream tip. Again, this is how streamers, if you're curious, mostly make their money, for the most part, with the tip thing. And you can also do it with merch if you really want to, even though I'm not a big merch guy. But in case you are a merch person. So, Sari, I hate to break it to you. Your name just sounds incredibly fake. And you know, fake might be a good thing to you. But where I'm from, which, I don't know, isn't a very specified location. Where I'm from, extra fake sounding names can be really good. But if they sound like just a rip of another name, like, oh yeah, my name's Andrew. Oh no, it's actually Smandrew. Or Mandrew. And it's like, yeah, you have to do better than that one, friends. So It's okay, expand your wall and make your world great again. The size of that wall is still pretty impressive every time I see it. I'm like, man, I really did just spend like hours upon hours upon hours covering a thing, and it will never be truly appreciated. So yeah, we need to remove the rest of that ice, because I bet we're losing some of the blocks we placed already. So let's just kind of pick up the glowstone. Actually, let's place our shulker box down here. This is a logical place for a shulker box to be, in my opinion. Hey, thank you, Shannon Francis. Hope you're having a good day. So yeah, you should cover a mesa and endstone and purple blocks. Yeah, I think there are definitely some biomes in the overworld that would be great to cover in that way. It's just the Nether is like kind of like my place for the weird projects, because it's you know, everyone has a Nether hub. Like that, a Nether hub is one of the most important things, by the way. If you don't have one, get one. But everyone needs a Nether hub, and then what you choose to do with your Nether hub is like up to you. Some people just build overworld looking things there, and I figure rather than building something that looks like just an overworld thing, what if I built an entire biome? So you know what I'm doing today? I'm doing precisely that. So we're gonna stack ourselves onto here. It's gonna look a little bit like a stalagmite. Oh, we could totally make an ice stalagmite from the ground, because we have all those stalactites from the ceiling. Pro tip, I didn't know forever the difference between stalagmites and stalactites. So I just want to say, fun fact, the stalactite goes on the ceiling because it's got a C in it. That's the only way I could ever work it out, like, consistently. And now you know the pro tips too. So, Japanese symbol for beginner, says Thomas Thornton. Man, the newbie symbol or whatever, still haunted by that to this day. Still haunted by it to this day. Newbie symbol, but yeah, thank you very much, Shoni Rahun. That spelling, you know, I try not to like, I'm usually not like a call people out on the spelling thing, but like, there's a level of spelling where you pass it and it's like, man, something went wrong there. Something went like, a little questionable there. That's really cool to hear. No, because I actually, you know, can I tell you a little secret about me, internet? Even though I hated spelling as a thing in school for the most part, like I thought it was dumb. Like, you know what? If I make one spelling mistake, an entire essay, can you really judge me on that too harshly? But on the internet, the only way you have of telling tone is with, you know, at least when you're not talking to people. If you're talking in text exclusively, the only way you can actually like convey any real message to people is, you know, with your caps or your non-caps, your emoji usage. You know, but if you don't use emojis, you don't use caps, you don't use particular manners of speech, it's like how will you spell things? And I don't know why. I don't know how this association became to be made, but I hear like poorly written speech, and I'm like, either a child, a drunk, or someone who somehow is like because it's, you know, you have to like not be able to like check yourself and fix the spelling, right? Hey Toycat, I'm working, so I stopped the daily Toycat attacks. Also, you're streaming tomorrow. I've been streaming most days recently. I don't want to commit to it because I feel like there's a funny difference between something you want to do and something you have to do, right? Like, as soon as you tell people like expect to stream every day, then I'm disappointing people by not doing a stream. Whereas just by doing what we're doing right now, I'm like, oh yeah, let's stream. That'd be fun. I have more fun with it. I hope the streams are more fun. And also that is
my name is Trevor. I was told by my UK buddy that my name has somewhat negative connotations in the UK. Is this true?
Oh, so thank you so much. What is that? For Braig. Your name is Trevor in real life. Trevor. So I don't know, like I haven't met a single Trevor, but Trevor, like, you know, it's only from like movies and stuff. And Trevor's never like an upstanding citizen in games and stuff, right? So if I had to say, is there a negative connotation? I wouldn't go that far. I'd say like there's not a positive connotation. Like if you say like, I don't know, you know, Emily, you know, we think, wow, kind-hearted, generous, you know, people. We have too many Emilys here, and that's a thing. If you think of, say, an Andrew, you're like, oh, wow, that's either, you know, it's actually a Scottish name in origin, but you think maybe, you know, you think of the people in your life like that. Whereas if you only have, like, folks from movies and stuff, I assume you might have a bit more of a negative kind of link there. That's my theory, at least. Oh, Jesus. So we're going to put out the scaffolding now, because we're trying to get these odd little bits right here. Covering ceilings is no fun. Also, thank you, Rick Hansen. Mites go up, tights come down. Mites go up, tights come down. Wait, is that, did I get that right? Stalagmites go up, stalactites go down. Oh, yeah, that's a, honestly, I don't like that one too much, actually. The stalactite has to have on tight or it will fall. The stalactite has to hold on tight or... Ah, there you go. That's another good... It's funny, everyone has their own little ones. I love, in life, there's, like, a bunch of mnemonics for pretty much everything. Like, there's information that is useful to know. And the fact that there's so many different ways for it to go out there. Like, the colors in the rainbow. You spot me doing this in videos every now and then. But the only way I know how to... the colors of the rainbow, because I don't know intuitively. Like, there's a lot of knowledge that's intuitive to some people and not to others. One of the things that just isn't for me is the colors in a rainbow. Like, it's red, orange, green, blue, indigo, and then, like, violet or something. So what in the UK we have, like, a rhyme. It's like, Richard of York gave battle in vain. I don't even understand the original, because, like, I don't know about the War of the Roses. So, like, did Richard of York give battle in vain? That's a good question. I wish I could tell you the answer to. All I do know is that that gives you red, orange, green, blue, indigo, violet. It's very handy. But it's cool, Abigail. That you have your own version. I'm also Roy G. Biv is one someone else uses. I mean, again, it's like they're all equally beautiful, although that one's the least beautiful, I will say. But you know, everyone has their own little method. That's the key thing you gotta take from this. Thank you, Gamer Peeps, for the $1 tip. Appreciate it, man. So, Kat, there's a guy in your comment section that doesn't know what you say in your intros. Oh, yeah, there's so many people who don't know, and I don't know, like, it blows my mind, but then I realized, like, I guess if you're, like, not paying attention, or you don't know my name is Toy Cat, it's like, oh, yeah. And I want to get better with my diction, because if you're speaking fast, you need to be very clear about the words you're saying. Also, the word diction, it's funny, I know. But yeah, I've been trying to improve how I say words for a long time, but I feel like it's like slowly giving me a stutter because I want to say words correctly all the time. So like, it's like a lot more effort to speak. Have some cash being entertainment and stopping me slowly going crazy. See, you see that right there? I wanted to say the word correctly, and I was like zooming through it, and then I got it wrong 3 times. So I was like, okay, say it correct. You know, say it correct comes out before make sure I'm saying the right word. It's a whole... I'm sure like a speech therapist would have a great time explaining these things to me one time. All I know for now, though, is I appreciate you, Ice Maiden, and I hope you're having a great day. Wait, Ice Maiden! You know, just realized perfect name for this live stream, right? Perfect name. Couldn't be better. So we need to get that block over there. Pro tip, if you can't reach a block, all you have to do is, like, go right to the corner of both blocks, and then you probably will be able to. It's surprisingly handy. It's surprisingly handy. So yeah, now let's start placing up there. Again, if you can't place on the top, you can place on the side. There's a lot of like tiny tips that can save you like 2 seconds. They might take you more than 2 seconds to do, but they're great pieces of advice anyway. Oh god, we're messing this one up. So also as going outside without reason is a finable offense. Honestly, you know, actually that's a thing, right? I want to talk about you know, because the thing the world wants most, like, the vast majority of life, the world wants you to take not the path of least resistance. It's you know, like, there are so many opportunities, there are so many things where in life you have to ignore what the world wants from you and work on it. The way you be successful is by ignoring the average path and working away from it. Whether that's like, you know, working out that computers right now are dumb and you can sell a way to make them much smarter, or, you know, like whether it's like some dumb tech startup that like, what if we could only talk by saying the word yo? That is a literal app that I've mentioned before. But like, you know, like if you want a lot of like the world, a lot of the rewards in the world, a lot of the things you can do to help out are usually in the form of, oh yeah, there is a thing that everyone else isn't doing that you need to do. Whereas right now, the world is rewarding like the path of least resistance. It's literally saying, hey, you know what's outside? Probably bears, demons, monsters, who knows for sure. Better just stay inside, eh? It's a fascinating thing because, again, if you think about like any actual war, the way you are, the thing you have to do to help out whatever your team is, like, because you know, like you can help out your team, you know, your country in the war by going out, fighting some people, risking your life on a daily basis, etc., etc., etc. And when your team wins, your country wins, other teams, other countries lose. Whereas right now, not only is it the path of least resistance you can do to do a good thing. You know, again, like you can feel good about yourself every single day. You're locked inside. you know, not doing the things that you might want to do. I like watching movies. You know, I've had to switch from going. I like climbing. I like a fair number of activities outside for someone who is a inside person. But it's cool because like all of those things are flipped to make them better. Like, oh yeah, instead of going out to, you know, and like having to make someone else lose, everyone wins just by you doing the least you can. Think to yourself, oh yeah, should I go to the store today or go for a walk today? Nah. When you choose no, guess what? You do the world a favor. And for the most of the time, everyone's been like, oh yeah, really? You know, obesity is not your problem, it's everyone's problem. You know, like staying inside, being a shut-in, when you shoot up a mall or whatever, gonna be a real problem. Now it's like the reverse, and I find that so cool. That the path of least resistance is the path of most help to the world. Because for most of life, it's just the opposite. And I don't know. I feel like flips when the status quo flips, it helps you appreciate things. And also, you know, I'd never like, maybe this is just me like being an optimist. I would say I'm mostly a pessimistic person. So take that, you know, like keep that in mind as I say what I'm about to say. But like right now, the biggest worry, if we can do whatever we're doing right now, right, is the fact that like, oh yeah, the global economy is going for a crash. People just cannot, you know, literally cannot without breaking advice, you know, stimulate, create economic activity, etc. So the thing that instead, you know, like the problem that's going to happen is like all of this is going to build up. There's going to be a huge like tank in the world economy because even if your country gets past it, lots of countries are going to take a long time to get past. But it means that we're going, you know, right now we're going to have some questionable times. Let's just call them bad times to be simple, right? We're going to have some times of questionable quality. And it sounds scary on the surface, but it made me realize something today, that like every single time there is a good period in history, I read about something called the era of good feelings in America. Like once America like cemented its position as not being under, you know, as not being threatened, it was like, oh yeah, now everything's just good. It was literally, everyone was on the same team roughly. Like even the opposition parties had like switched from like not liking the idea of the United States to like, oh yeah, I guess it's gonna be there. Let's make sure it does what it needs to do. But like these like good times come out of bad times. You can't just have a good time go into a much better time, because that's kind of where we were before. You know, we had probably the best 3 decades of human existence. And it sounds weird to say like, hey, you know how things getting worse seems like a bad thing? I'm actually genuinely excited for like, oh yeah, at some point, there's going to be like a coming out of that. And there's going to be a time where everything's great and there's no huge discontentment as we've been seeing for a while. It's like, oh yeah, you know, the benefit to down is like, you know, this is a human cycle. It's like pretty much any activity in the world, yeah, pretty much any single cycle is ups and downs. Even like literally the way seasonal flu works, literally the way current thing here is there are waves, right? There are peaks, there are valleys. We care most about things when they're in their peaks. We care least about them when they're in their valleys. Think about, I don't know, temperature. The very peaks and the very valleys of temperature matter. Most of the time though, at least in the UK, you don't notice when it's an okay day. You don't think to yourself, oh, this is a really okay day. You go, wow, it sure is hot today, I'm melting. Wow, it sure is cold today, have to put on like 3 coats. And as a result, like, you know, we're going through some times where everyone's noticing like, wow, things sure are scary. But the upside is that instead of being on this like continual like plateau, at least of all the, you know, of all the things that come that are bad, the upside is that like, hey, at the very least, you know, like with every down comes an up. This is something I've said about like human psychology this whole time, and it literally is, it's the truest thing to me that like every single time you think you've reached your, like every time that you're all like super sad, you know, like I don't know, last time I broke up with someone, last time I like, you know, had a huge you know, like super scare with stuff. Or, you know, like even like when I had all my travel plans canned, you know, all my Hong Kong planning, etc. All the money I'm still owed something like $1,300 by an airline that just isn't answering calls, etc. There's like a lot of tragedies on a day-to-day basis, but even when you get sad and everything feels like it's not going to be better, the truth is everything usually gets better. There are very few moments in any human's life where things continue to go down. And especially if you're young, you can always, young in the relative sense, like below like 70. If you're 70, you know what? The worst thing you're going to face might be the last bad thing you face before it's all over, and life might just be worse from there on out. But otherwise, and even in that case, it's unlikely. But like, otherwise, guess what? Things get better, and that's cool. It happens on a personal level, happens on a societal level, because humans are a big bunch of people who don't really know what's going on, and it's kind of nice. Also, Andrew got refunded for my lunch trip, so it's terrible you're still waiting. Yeah, no, it's because the flight wasn't technically cancelled. It's a whole thing. I got like a couple of refunds sorted. I had a hotel this week that was just, again, like, they had the email saying could not attend because of current situation, but they just sent an email being like, thank you for staying, even though I didn't stay. So like, it's because a lot of travel companies, a lot of them are literally breaking the law to say no refunds, like, because that's not you can't say, I'm gonna sell your product, not sell them the product, and then cut off. It's like literally not a legal thing you have the right to do. But yeah, a lot of airlines are just like in the business of, a lot of travel companies are just hemorrhaging. They're literally like, actually wait, here's a fun fact, just if you don't know, friends on the internet. Airlines and like hotels are generally speaking having, it's called like net negative bookings. They have more refunds than new business. So every day they stay open, not only are they not covering their costs, but they're literally losing money they previously had. It's a weird situation, right? So he's making Antarctica, but it's 2100. wait. I'll make Antarctica, but it's 2100. There you go. Wait. More accurate. There you go. This is Antarctica in the year 2100. Do you enjoy it? I'll pour myself a drink while we look at the ice cube. Make a bet on how long you think it will take to break, friends. Also, I got myself some ice in my fishbowl again. I've got some lemonade. I found some of the American lemonade, the Mike lemonade, that had been lost for so long. I thought I'd run out, but we didn't. So we're great. Cooling the Nether so we can change the Earth's climate, blah. I'm just saying, if everyone did this, maybe we could fix global warming. Also, is there a, how you did today? Toycat says, Ollie Straw. I'm doing pretty great, thank you for asking. Also, my apartment sent an email saying that evicted anyone who couldn't pay rent. Because people aren't legally allowed to go to, even though people aren't legally allowed to go to work. It's this kind of a reminder to me of like how, do you have to stream in the middle of the night, says Wojtek. Honestly, I didn't want to. Also, I knew someone in my life called Wojtek before, and I didn't realize that's how you spelt it. So, because I was always like, what is your name? Wojtek. Like, but now that I see yours, I'm like, you must be Wojtek. I now know how to say that. Unless your name isn't Wojtek, in which case, ignore, carry on. But yeah, so, the thing about, like, the eviction of rent thing, in the UK, first of all, I just want to clarify, we actually have made it like, hey, sure, after, like, 6 months is up, do that. But for now, maybe don't evict people. It's just a legal right that you can't be evicted. You do have to pay rent for the time, even if you're not, but like, it's a whole thing, like deferral of rent or deferral of mortgages, etc. It's a thing happening because a lot of people just can't go where they need to go. But it's fascinating to me because it makes you remember just how many steps there are in like the world happening. In the same way that like, when I talk about my thing, it's like, oh yeah, there is an airline that is run by a Middle Eastern government, and that airline is losing a lot of money, every single day, and they'd like to not, and they can, if they use some questionable business practices, they won't lose it. It's like a 3-step process. But like, if you think about you with your rent in your apartment complex, it seems monstrous to evict people in a time like this, and I think it actually is. I think you should be doing everything you can to not evict people, and realistically speaking, no one should be you're not going to find new tenants, so I don't know why you would bother evicting people as opposed to keeping people in and then saying they should pay the rent afterwards. But the thing I find interesting is because like, oh yeah, well most people who rent things out usually have like 1 or 2 properties, right? So they're charging you $1,000 a month, and that $1,000 a month, most of it goes towards their mortgage and other things like that. So like, if they don't, if your rent isn't paid, their mortgage isn't paid. So it's like, okay, we have rent holidays, and then we also have mortgage holidays. And it's like, well, now the bank's not getting paid. And if the bank's not getting paid, it's like, oh yeah, well, they do all the lending for which the the economy is kind of based on to a large part because we have a highly debt-based economy. It's like, oh, so then they don't get the money they need to do this sorts of lending. So it's like, oh, so then we need to give the banks like some money to make up for the stuff they're losing. And it's like, man, to fix a problem of like, oh yeah, someone is asking for money for you to not live in your house, you have to like go so many steps down the line and fix it that way. And it's kind of a reminder of just like how complex and tricky the modern world can be, in some way, I guess. Also, I'm lucky to have some savings, but I imagine someone's already struggling. Yeah, that's the hardest bit, right? Like, it's for people. I always know that like I'm very like I would say frugal and like very let's call it fiscally conservative. No, it's not. It's yeah, it'd be fiscally conservative, not fiscally. I don't know what the word is. But I try my best to be like, oh yeah, save as much as you humanly can because yeah, that's always been my attitude for a billion reasons. Could talk about it in another stream. But like if you're like just moved in somewhere and you've just gone over the edge and then this happens, that like it's that thing with like there's a lot of things. It's the reason like crises happen is because one thing gets pushed over the edge, which pushes another thing over the edge, etc., etc., etc. No matter how much savings you have, even if you had literally $1 million in savings, it's not enough for an infinite amount of time until you've hit your lifetime, in which case, then there's a whole thing. Random question: do you have any toilet paper? I have 3.5 rolls left. I'm going through crisis times. I have yet to see a supermarket with toilet paper in. It is always out in my experience. However, I have a friend who works at a supermarket who says like, if things get bad, I can like take you in the back room, hook you up. And it's like a part of me hates it because I think I've said this before, but I hate nepotism. I hate the idea that like because you knew someone, the right person, you should get an advantage in anything. I think you're knowing of, I don't think people should be forced to know of people. I don't think people should be forced to be polite to other people. I mean, not be. You should be polite for your own will. You should be nice to other people for your own will. But you shouldn't be forced to have social connections. But a lot of the world doesn't operate on that same rule set. I put my savings in socks in early December, says Chantal X Lee. I don't know if I mentioned this publicly, because again, I don't want this to be about me. I am lucky enough that this is not destroying my life. But I had a pile of money from that basically I had some I did a like really I was gonna go on a very expensive flight because I got some money from an ad company. Basically, long story short, there was a pile of money just sitting around and I was like, I'll put that in stocks. Literally a month ago at their all-time high, and it's like, oh yeah, most of that money's never coming back. And it's like, okay, that's fine. I'll just leave them in there until hopefully it does. It's always like it's just a reminder of like, everyone always says, if anyone thinks that you're, the reason that like bank accounts are 100% safe and that stocks are not, is because stocks go up and go down. If you want access to your money at any time, you put it in a bank or something like that. If you don't mind, because it might be 15, 20 years before the money recovers its value. It probably is going to be a lot less than that. But if you can't bear not accessing your money for 15 years or whatever, you should put them in high-end stocks. Fun fact. Also, Dabbro paying my Toy Cat tax says cookies are good. I agree. Cookies are great, man. I agree with your username a lot. You've got the right thoughts here. I'm glad someone's finally coming out and saying it. How's your sponsor received by the audience in IBX2Cat? I had one guy complain like a lot about it, and then everyone else was just like, "Oh, awesome." Because we should be saving our money for essentials, so that's why I'm paying my cat tax. Also, I hope you're okay during the situation. Haven't left my house in 2 weeks. See, Elizabeth Shook, doing your part for the world. You've been playing Animal Crossing? That's what heroes are doing. You know how for the war they had to make all these propaganda posters of like they had to make all this propaganda to be like, hey, your neighbor's going to war. Why aren't you? Today it's like, oh yeah, your neighbor is sitting at home playing Animal Crossing. Why haven't you given Tom Nookis 30 iron nuggets yet? What do you possibly have as an excuse for being outside and not building a Nether transit hub? You don't have a Nether transit hub? Why is that not your immediate priority, world? I think it's beautiful, personally. I like this a lot. And I'm glad to hear it, Elizabeth Shuk. But yeah, I always want to be clear here, like, oh, but yeah, the sponsorship thing, like, I even when times are like tough, you know, even when you lose a lot of money from a poorly timed investment like I have, I still try my best to be like, let's try not to take. I think sponsorships are great because the money comes from a company or whatever. But when money comes from a company, it has stipulations. Ideally, you want your money to come because people like the things you have already done. If you set up a Patreon, if you do sponsored videos, you need someone else to approve of what you're about to do. And if someone has to approve about what you're about to do, you are going to do different things. When people are observed, they do different things to when they're by themselves. It's a widely known fact. That's why places have cameras. You don't even have to check the footage on a camera. The idea that you might know what someone's up to is enough to make a lot of people be like, you know what? I'm actually going to do a decent thing here. I have 17 out of 30, says the Dark Knight. I'll be honest with you. I was doing my bit earlier today. I got my 30 iron nuggets. Actually, I finally got the 30 iron nuggets, like, just before the stream, like, maybe an hour ago. You know, again, do it. I'm trying my best. Tom Nook needs his shop, or, like, Tommy Nook, I think it is. I don't know Animal Crossing characters. I'm not that level in the game yet. But, yeah, I feel like, when you need someone else's approval to do things, you do things slightly differently. And for most people, that's fine. Like, I probably would be I think my videos would make a lot more sense. Like, I wouldn't just release a video in vertical. But there is also a beauty to not having checks on you. Also, you sponsored your second channel, so I don't have to give you money, says Eclipse49. Yeah, exactly. So what I do with sponsorships, you might have even heard, I made a video about this recently, about the Raid Shadow Lynch sponsorship I turned down $5,000 for. But it was because of the fact that, like, if you want to, there's like, you gotta have, like, principles and and that's why what I do is I'm like, I'm going to release this video. I said, I have a video planned about this already. If you'd like to sponsor it, send over what you need me to do, and I'll say if it's okay. And they're like, as long as you say, you know, like, the code, and you say the things, you can talk about whatever you want. So I spoke about St. Petersburg or something like that. And it's like, yeah, you know, you're interested about Russia's second biggest city, talk about that if you think it helps out our company. Because, like, companies that actually understand what they're doing are like, oh yeah, that, you know, like, a lot of places see advertising as just like trick people into getting your product. But good advertising is like, oh yeah, there is a product you need out there that you don't know about. You need to find out about it. And, like, YouTube can be good for that, you know? Like, there's a lot of history nerds. No offense, people who really like history. I like history too. Am I a history nerd? You decide, internet. I suppose to see a sponsor, Harry, it's you. I trust whatever you decide to do. Yeah, I definitely stick to the rule also of, like, having the majority not be sponsored stuff, because you got to value your audience's time. So there's a lot of considerations with sponsors that, like, I don't think most channels take. Because I get so many emails that are just offer huge $signs, and you've got to really resist. Like, you've got to know why it's not a good idea to just take $signs now in exchange for your audience's trust. Because I think trust is the single most valuable currency of all. We don't see it as a currency, but trust is the reason that any country, anything works. You know, like, it sounds weird to say, but if for instance, when you don't trust your government, as, you know, some people haven't done for a while, you know, when the big body wants to do good things for you that are also good for it, you don't trust it. Because if you know, let's just use your friend as an example. If your friend continually puts his interests above yours, when he finally does something which is in both of your interests, you're not going to trust him to do it. You can treat that as like a corporation too. You can treat that as like a YouTuber as well. If I put my own interests so highly above yours, you know, like, for instance, I get so many offers to advertise like scam VPNs basically that don't really exist, and it's like, well, no, you know, that's again, you gotta make sure things are in the interests of the parties involved, because trust is so hard to earn. It's like intensely hard to earn, but it's so fast to lose. Like, in an instant, you know, a lifetime of trust can be lost in an instant, and there's no other currency like that, I would say. You know, like, if you have $1 billion, Try and lose that in an instant, and with that instant not being you transferring it to someone else's account. Let's go even less. Let's say 500 million. If you have 500 million, you can't lose that in an instant. You have to make a series of bad decisions. If you think about pretty much anything else, it just doesn't go away. That ghast noise is giving me anxiety. Where is the ghast? I can hear it too. I've been hearing it this whole time without really thinking about it. Let's go up the mountain. Let's see if he's up there. I'll be walking up the mountain when I walk. I'll be walking up the mountain when I walk. I'll be walking up the mountain, walking up the mountain, walking up the mountain when we walk. Oh, most VPN scams. So it's a really tricky gray area of like, the biggest VPNs are almost definitely not scams, almost like definitely a good idea to use. But there's it's been a really popular idea recently to like, pretend you have a VPN. It doesn't need to even work as anything. And then people install you and give you a bunch of permissions, because VPNs need permission basically to see all of your internet traffic, which is a scary concept. Like, it would be so easy for a VPN to be a, you know, malicious business. Like, the fact that it isn't and hasn't happened on a wide scale yet is that's a boon to us all. It's a lucky thing. It's a matter of time until something happens. There's a hack that exposes a bunch of stuff that it shouldn't. But yeah, so yeah, this is a messy way to cover it. I can hear that gasp, but I can't find it, by the way. The fastest way to lose millions is not to sign a prenuptial agreement. Wouldn't it be the fastest... Oh, wait, to not sign a prenuptial. Hey, da-dum-ch. Yeah, I feel like in 2020, you know, like, when the rate of divorce was 1% and, like, you know, it was this, like, frowned upon thing, having, like, another incentive not to, sure. But, like, in a world where it's just like, oh, yeah, marriage isn't actually forever. It's just a cute gesture where you say it's forever and then half the time it isn't. It's like, yeah, probably shouldn't be doing that, eh? Probably should have, like, a set agreement in place. Might stream why you drinking out of a fishbowl, says Ashley98. If you've never drinking out of a fishbowl, it's a very satisfying... Oh, not something over. It's a very satisfying thing. Like, look how little my drink looks like. This is a full can, but it looks like I'm drinking very little. A full can with ice in there too, by the way. Hey, paying my Toycat taxes because the last stream it notified me 10 minutes before it ended, says Timeline Gamer. Yeah, notifications on YouTube are hit and miss, right? It's the sad truth of the matter. If you want to guarantee you hit a stream, you follow on Twitter is the best advice I can give. And if you don't like that, then I wish there was just a way, like a website I controlled and was like, if you sign up for a thing, you'll guarantee the thing you want. There's this real... This is the trust thing, actually. Aggressively pets cats, says Robyn Burr. I love aggressively petting cats. That is all I want to do with my life. But yeah, this is the thing about trust, right? The moment YouTube doesn't deliver you a notification, you can't trust it again. Because it's put the interest of itself, because YouTube knows the reason YouTube doesn't give you notifications. Like, it seems like an obvious thing, like, just give people the notifications they sign up for. But it's arguably devious. Maybe devious isn't the word you like. But they know they want to make the most money possible, which is by making you watch the most videos possible. You've kind of aligned on that they want to keep your attention, and you want to keep you want to keep each other's attention. And so YouTube knows on average that if you watch a certain video, you're more likely to leave the site. Sometimes that can be for bad reasons, like, oh, this video is dumb, YouTube's dumb, I'm gonna leave. But sometimes it's like, if I make a video where I talk about how you should go outside, which right now should not do. Stay inside, keep watching this live stream. But no, if you make a video about, you know, oh yeah, you should watch this other video on another site. Or, you know, even if we go more wholesome, if I say, hey, go meditate for half an hour, which means you'd be leaving, you know, YouTube, or go, you know, pet your cat and whatever else, then it would count as you leaving the site, and YouTube would be like, oh, this video makes you leave our platform? No, that's not going to the people. And that trust, as soon as it's broken, it's not back. You know, you even though YouTube delivers notifications to, you know, 80-something%, 90-something% of the people who want them, the fact that you can't trust all of them is like a bummer. You know, it works well enough. A 90% hit rate is good for the individuals, but bad for the people. Also, G-Base says this Toycat streamer has a different vibe than most. Not enough ridiculousness. Should we be more ridiculous? I think we should. We kind of just started like, it's been a long day. I want to talk, is what it kind of is. First look at tax. Thank you very much, Ryan Walt. I watch almost everything you do and love the stream. Also, I have an actual glass bowl like that to drink from. Yeah, I'll be honest. I want one. I was just in Poundland. Yeah, Poundland. And I get the pound stores mixed up, okay? And I was just realizing to myself, like, you know what? There's a fishbowl. It's £1. Because you know at Poundland, you know what the price is? I guess in America, Poundland would be like a place where you lose or gain pounds. Idea for a store. Poundland, but in America, everything there will make you gain at least £1. So, 3,500 calories or more. Boom. Internet. I've solved it. I have come up with the business site. Actually, right now, you can't get away with that. Stay inside. Don't go to Poundland. Is it also true of YouTube Premium members? I didn't get constantly notified, but they get my money regardless. So, with YouTube Premium members, it's a bit different because obviously you're not watching as many ads. But still, YouTube wants you to stay on their app the longest, even if you never watched ads. Even if you have ad block on, or you have YouTube Premium, which is obviously much better and actually helps the creators you watch, as opposed to... People always talk about like, oh, did you know there's this like free version of YouTube Premium? And it's like, yeah, but it doesn't support the creators. Like if you don't care about supporting a thing you watch, then yeah, it's great. But yeah, so YouTube wants to have the higher market share, because the higher market share it gets, the better it can command for the ads it sells. But also, like, YouTube is taking over TV, and it needs market share to do that. So I'd rather have 35% market share and not make money from 5% than have 30% and make money from all of it. And in your case, like, you're paying them directly, so like it's you add a subscriber number. Like, the more you watch YouTube, the more likely like if you stop watching as many videos, you might pause your subscription. Every website is kind of in this like mortal battle with each other. Like, it literally is a zero-sum game. Every minute you're on YouTube, you cannot be on Facebook. Every minute you're on Twitter, you cannot be on YouTube. And so as a result, like, they all have algorithms which are aggressively built to keep people on the app as long as possible, which leads to people making the sort of posts that aren't even true in a lot of cases. I've seen I've seen so many things that are fake spread because they know how to trigger people's heartstrings or like their share strings. Poundland sounds like the title of a bad porno, says Kayla Forrester. I didn't think about it, but that's totally what that is too. Outside of the UK, Poundland is just not a recognizable concept. Some of those cheap stores have some good stuff. I got a massive fleece flow for $5.99. It's huge, says Ice Maiden. Yeah, I totally agree. Like, honestly, people... So, there's a few phrases on this one. Quality over quantity, right, is a common phrase. Buy it nice or buy it twice. There's a bunch of phrases that basically say, buy nice things, yo. But the truth is, for a lot of things in your life, you don't need quality. An example, I don't know, like pasta. Have you ever had pasta, like, the pasta itself, not the sauce. Have you ever had it and been like, this is bad pasta, or like bad rice? I haven't personally, or like, there's a lot of things where like you don't need or notice the quality. I really like computers, so I like to buy, nice ones like that I know are going to be faster at the things that I need to use them for. But if you're just browsing the internet, is there a difference between a Chromebook and, like custom £7,000 or dollar laptop or whatever? It's questionable. Like when everyone's needs are different, so like as most people's needs for most things are going to be cheap, and this is why discount stores are just popular. Like being able to own a fishbowl, even if it's a £1 fishbowl, is better than not being able to own a fishbowl. It doesn't matter what the quality of these things are if you just want to do the things. It allows a lot of people to experience things they otherwise wouldn't. I like cheap a lot. I'm a big fan of cheap because as I mentioned earlier, I kind of like the saving thing. So yeah, chat. I want to know today, how are you feeling? Because usually I do like polls that are like, oh yeah, like what do you diorite or neverite or whatever dumb question. Let's get like a general feel. Like right now, even if you don't usually comment, just because it's better to get people in who have never left a comment, just say one word or less than 5 words. If you say more than 5 words, I'm sorry. Too long, don't got it. I love that I can make streams now that I'm working from home, says Madsen. Hey, good to see you. But yeah, I wanna get like the average feeling of a group of about 1,000 people, and then we're gonna see Actually, wait. Here'd be a cool experiment. Let's like do it now, and then let's measure like later on the stream the average opinion, and let's see if we can improve the also anxious, good, tired, pretty okay, trains, it's not an emotion, sleepy, happy, less than 5 words, moist egg, I'm going stir crazy. I too sometimes am really hungry for a stir fry. I just, you know, I need to get my stir on. I feel you. That is definitely what you mean by that. Love you, Toy Cat. Dead, suicidal, never ate taco, not an emotion. Pretty alright, sleepy, tired, depressed, sleepy. Man, a lot of people are sleepy. A lot of people are sleepy. Physically or emotionally, says Pookie Hams. It's a good question. Like, the how are you question is such a, like... I know it's like a pleasantry. People who ask how are you usually don't actually care how you are. That's why I'm trying to be different here. I care, internet. Or do I care? You know, maybe I care about the aggregate opinion. Is your opinion by itself worthwhile? That's for you to decide. But yeah, like, you know, you can be doing, like, really physically great while doing mentally awful. And, like, once you've just had a really good workout and, you know, or, like, you're tired because you did something. Like, you know, when I'm tired from, like, skiing or climbing, I feel physically bad, but, like, you know, I feel, like, accomplished. Whereas you can feel physically bad and, you know, not accomplished or not great, and you're like, oh, my life is a wreck. What am I? Even. A little sad, a little happy, says SarahBurke. Oh, you're down the middle on this one, are you? Can't even make up your mind? No. Tell me more. Thank you for caring for us, Toy Cat, says Uwu. I want to say I care, but I think I care as much as you can about a large group of people. Like, the truth is like, the larger YouTuber you are, the less, like, one-to-one you can perfectly ever be. I tried to restore some of that with the whole, like, tip system. Like, yeah, if you really want to get a one-to-one message out there, you totally can. But, I definitely care about the collective of all the people here. Because if you watch the channel, if you watch these live streams, I make an assumption. I hope I'm not wrong with it. That, like, we have something in common. There's something in me that you, or, like, that I've said in my videos that you agree with. That you're like, yeah, I like that, I want to see more of that. Or at the very least, you just enjoy having around you. The terrible thing about the real world is there's a lot of people around you who don't always want to be there. They're just there because it's the easiest path. But you're here on YouTube, a place which will push you to the next guy as soon as, you know, it feels like I'm not hitting the watch time quotients or whatever. And it's like, I care that I think the best way to do good in the world, the best way to make the world better, or make the world into your image, is to help the people who agree with what your image of the world is. You should probably help the people who don't agree too, but I mean, like, whole separate side note or whatever, right? But like, you know, if you like people who are caring, then, you know, when you see a caring person, do your best to help them in some small ways. You can't like stop your day and be like, you know what, you need this. You have a lot of people who choose to be around you. Yeah, I mean, I guess you put around in air quotes there. I totally agree that, like, it's kind of like, it's a hollow form of aroundness. Like, how around can you really be on the internet? But also, yeah, I find it, I think, I never can really truly internalize it. Even when I get, like, this is, I don't know what the name of this is. Maybe it's imposter syndrome, maybe it's something else. Whenever someone sends me, like, a nice email being like, hey, I love your videos, a part of me is like, you know, it's a reminder of why I should go on, why I should always try my best to do this. But a part of me is always like, what if it's fake? Pretty much anything in the, like, I'm a very skeptical person, even to the level where, like, someone says something nice, nah, must be fake, must be something in them for this. Because people say nice things to you all the time, even though they don't mean them. You know, like, have a nice day. You don't care how I'm doing grocery store clerk that I spent 20 minutes asking you about bizarre questions. Also, I come back after 5 minutes and the gas is still there. Still low-key scared. We can turn down the... Actually, wait. Where is the ghast? It must be, like, down below because I genuinely cannot find it. We're going to take a big risk right now, Instat, but it's a risk worth taking. Where is this ghast? I've got my crossbow loaded. I've got my fireworks ready. We're going to pray that we don't die. I genuinely cannot tell you where this is. Is there... Is it just a bug, perhaps? Did we go far enough away? The ghast will despawn. Are you there? You're not there? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about where this ghast is. But yeah, we can look at the work we've done so far. So let's fly up and around. Just get as far away as we can. Oh, this way I think there's a stronghold. Okay, there's a ghast. We'll just kill it. It's not the ghast, but like, kill it anyway. Always a good idea, right? Mob spawning's going to change in 1.16, which will actually make stuff like this a bit harder. So do your bit to make it harder right now. Oh, there's a blaze spawn. Okay, there we go. Here's a blaze dead at least. Okay, harder than I thought. Just dead, easy. Get me some gunpowder. So we're going to see if that was the blaze, or at the very least if we despawn what the blaze was. I highly doubt it because it was so far away. Again, I have no idea what's causing this, but I'm super concerned about it. Okay, we're back here. Are there ghast noises? Let's find out. I was on
vacation last week. I went back to work today remotely and realized just how much I like being left alone better.
Yeah, there really are introverted people and extroverted people. It definitely is a fact in the world. It's a ghast. Where is the ghast though? I don't know where the ghast is spawned. Ghast noises are different on Bedrock, by the way. Fun fact. Also, you're a likable person, which is why people choose to be at the streams. I think there is like always a mix on the internet. Like I like to believe that like, oh yeah, everyone here, you know, they like me. That's how it is. I think it's definitely like again, you are choosing to be here, everyone. That is. Thank you for that, by the way. You're when you choose not to, I die and starve. But everyone chooses to be here on some level. Like Frosty Brandon, which thank you very much. Can you place Icebox Nether without subliminating like waterfalls instantly? It's also first tax. You can place ice in the Nether, which means that hell is quite literally freezing over. That is just a factual statement about the world, right? Hell is freezing over, and you know how people make statements like when hell freezes over, like when pigs fly. People used to say, you know, when we discover when swans turn black or something, because we used to only have white swans. And a fun fact about the world for you all, you know, the world we can't all see right now, but the world we can imagine still exists, is that, yeah, black swans didn't used to exist for the longest time, but when we discovered Australia, we discovered they actually had some black swans. So fun fact, hell might literally freeze over one day. I mean, not real hell, but like the Nether freezing over, so pigs might fly. Honestly, getting pigs to fly in Minecraft is easy enough. As soon as I say that, I'm like, you know what'd be fun? A whole video about getting pigs to fly in Minecraft. And it's like, no, Toy Cat, don't make the video. Introverted people believe too much that they're the only person like that. This comes from someone who used to do that. It's annoying when I see others do it. Yeah, there are some people who don't believe others can be introverted. And it's always a little bit frustrating, like, hey, you know, there's like half people out here. And it's mostly because it's what I said earlier, actually. Also, what actually is this? What is this actually? This is why I'm subscribed, says Paper Mario. See, people never really understand, but we have a good time anyway, apparently. That is what I'm learning from that particular super chat. Also, for breaks, Danto Inferno, the lowest circle in hell, is in fact frozen over. I learned a fun fact about Dante's Inferno recently. It was actually written as like something between satire and like religious criticism. Because at the time, you couldn't criticize the church openly without being like, you know, bad things happening to you. So what instead, the guy who wrote it had to do was he wrote his criticism of the church, but he did it all in like coded allegory. So Dante's, you know, Inferno is actually like, it's like, you know, he's like pointing out the ridiculousness of the church by making a book about what they actually believe in. I know, it's kind of like if you point out how ridiculous, let me think about something that's ridiculous. Like, you ever think it's ridiculous that everyone says you should stay inside all day every day, but you're like, I don't know, like, here's an example. You have to practice social distancing. You know, you have to stay at least 2 meters away from other people right now. But if you live in a city with public transport, all public transport's being cut because, you know, that's just the thing they're trying to do. So as a result, people are closer and closer together. for the public transport commute, which was already kind of like a big problem. Like, the closeness of people on public transport is bad in the best of times, but now it's literally killing people. It's like, so you say we should keep people apart when it's on us, but when it's on you, you know, it's something that's just okay, is it? It's just like, oh, what are you gonna do about it? And if you, let's say that you couldn't criticize the government without being killed, you would, you could take that to its extreme and be like, haha, so isn't it kind of funny how, you know, you write a book about, or a tale, or a story, or a Minecraft video, whatever you're doing, about a government that, you know, wants to stop the spread of virus, so it takes you to some virus centers where you all stand in a circle, or you know, you take something to its extreme. It's like parody. Parody's a really good way to prove a point, actually. Like, people, like, explaining points normally is like boring. You know, it's kind of loaded with stuff. If you make people laugh as they understand a point, they'll be like, I kind of get that. Hey, thank you, Frank Halazi.
Hey, in spite of my holiday to Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand being cancelled, me and my GF want to visit every continent in the next few years. Suggestions? P.S. You keep me sane during quarantine.
Thank you so much, Frank Paisley. I want to quickly say, just mention this, throw this one out there. I want to quickly mention that actually, wait. First of all, gonna make a joke. Which continent should you visit? What recommendations? North America, South America. Actually, not. Wait, I'll rate the continents top to bottom in terms of like what are best to visit, in my opinion. Visit again, not to live. If you live one of these continents, it's fine. I would say North. No, wait. I'm gonna say Australasia is the easiest because there's not as much diversity, but it's a place you have to go. Then it's gotta be Asia. Then it's gotta be North America. Then it's gotta be Europe. Then South America. And then somewhere, you know, and then Africa. Then I guess Antarctica. That's gonna be my tier list of the continents right there. Second of all, where should you see that you're already going to Singapore, Thailand, and Indonesia. Hong Kong is a place you need to see as soon as you can. We don't know how long Hong Kong will exist in its current form. And you know, you want, it might get better, but realistically, Hong Kong is like, unrelated to current events. I'm talking about like political. Like, Hong Kong is going to be assimilated into China sooner rather than later, and you don't, you know, like, they've got 50 years of freedom guaranteed. Oh Jesus! Okay, that was scary. Let's find this gas, by the way. We're gonna look around here. I can hear it so clearly. Is there like a box inside there, maybe? Has it spawned inside my tunnel, perhaps? It's possible. Let's go in. Just, if it's in there, we all freak out, okay? We all agreed? Are you in here? The gas is not in here. Where am I hearing these noises then? I'm so confused. I almost want to be like, go peaceful, not peaceful. Because we went really far away, and the gas didn't go with us. So just gas noises all day, every day. That is the stream motivation now. How much ice do you think it will take? Honestly, a lot of ice. That's why it's a good thing we have so much, I think. That's why it's a good thing we have so darn much. So yeah, we're going to start with the tricky bits of ice. So we're going to do a few of these. I mostly prefer doing the not tricky bits because they require less cognitive load. A gas spawn in a cave. I think that is genuinely possible at this point, and I hope that doesn't reduce its odds of being despawned. Because it does seem to be somewhere impossible. It's ambience. I wish it was ambience. I would be so much calmer if that noise was just like, oh yeah, it's just what the Nether does. Because like those kitty noises are not the best. What's your opinion on Brussels sprouts as I drop my Brussels sprouts? I've never been a huge fan. I've always wanted to enjoy Brussels sprouts, but not too much. Oh, so other countries I recommend, just for anyone out there traveling, not just Frank Hazley. Singapore is always top of the list. Like, if you don't see Singapore, you haven't seen anything. New Zealand is always like, you might think like, you can see Australia. New Zealand's probably similar. Now you gotta see New Zealand. New Zealand's like one of the most naturally beautiful places that also has very, that has some of the like most interesting, I would say some of the most fun people in the world. Like, Australians are, I would say, like when there's an Australian around, you know you're gonna have some fun. But New Zealanders are good people too. I like them a lot. Thank you very much, Mr. Be Magical. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, Be Magical. You know, I've always wanted to be magical, and you have cemented that decision for me. But yeah, chat. Tell me, in no uncertain words, you know, keep it in the. Actually, wait. I was gonna say keep it in the shortest form possible. Tell me right now your opinion on Brussels sprouts, because I have this theory that no one likes them. People go from they're okay to they are Satan incarnate, you know? Like, I'll enjoy Brussels sprouts when hell freezes over. Oh god, what did I just admit to? You know, that's my kind of thing. Also, Toycat, do you think the size of your channel right now is less or more than you'd want in terms of fame or wealth versus freedom, etc.? There is a funny thing about, like, wealth/fame versus freedom, where, like, the more rich and famous you get, the less freedom you sort of have in a way. You get the freedoms everyone wants on some level, but you're always tied to whatever thing you're famous for. Like, the best types of wealth is probably to be, like, a billionaire no one knows the name of. Like, you know Bill Gates, you know Warren Buffett. Do you know billionaire number 73 on the list? Nah. But he has all the same things. Also, I love Brussels sprouts, says Adrian Effie. See, there's always someone going against the curve. I like them unless they're overcooked. I've yet to have... The best Brussels sprouts I had, I was like, oh, that is vaguely a vegetable, and that's... Whoa, that was weird. And that's okay. I've yet to have them and be like, oh my god, this justifies why people eat them. My 9-year-old considers Brussels sprouts his favorite food, says Lisa H. That is disappointing. That is... You know, I'm just saying, like... As far as, like, list of measures, this isn't something you say to a parent, but list of measures that should get, like, you know, the support called in, you know, like, it's got to be pretty high up there. Not going to make a euthanasia joke, but I am going to say that the Brussels sprouts can't... I guess, honestly, that's going to be great. Like, I wish if I could trade my taste palettes so that crisps tasted as bad to me as Brussels sprouts, and, like, I could eat... I don't know, celery. I like celery, actually. I'm lucky that I like celery, but, like, I wish I could eat, like, you know, vegetables, like, actually genuinely healthy ones, and like a snack, and actually enjoy them just as much. Brussels sprouts say yes, says Adston DJ. I disagree. Hobbies don't have opinions, says Alcazar. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Where would you go if you could go anywhere, says Zach B. It's a fun question right now, because... Travel has gone from this, like, very real part of the world to being, like, this fantasy for 3 to 18 months from now, right? So, where would I go if I could go anywhere? The place I want to go most. So, is this global colding? Exactly. I'm doing my bit to fight global warming. And that bit, right now, mostly consists of cooling it down a little bit. Also, we're going to lose this, this stuff if we don't mine it now, so let's go in and let's do that, eh? Anyway, yeah, I also what are crisps, says Seraphina363. I'm assuming you're American, because you know it's 2 AM in the UK. If you're in the UK, thank you for powering through with me here. But crisps are what we call potato chips. See, do you like my American accent? Was it convincing? Did you believe I was American for a second there, friends? What is your favorite game other than Minecraft? I go in and out of lots of other games. Like, I've been playing Animal Crossing recently, but I know I'll be, like, done with it in a while. I've been playing a lot of Tricky Towers, which is, like, a 2015 game, apparently. We need a Brussels cat emoji. There is someone who makes emoji, like, I don't know who, or why, or how, but on Discord we have, like, a bunch of emojis, because, like, one little one-off comment gets turned into one. So if you're out there, people who make emojis, a Brussels cat emoji does need to be made. Also, Ireland Gang here, says Emmy Ahmed. See, look at that. That's an Emily. Emmy's short for Emily, I believe. Actually, is Emmy short for Emily? I want to quickly ask. There is a, you know, an Emily right here doing the kind thing and staying up to support their favorite toy cat. Also, thank you very much, Timeline Gamer. Do I think the vegan one will make it much easier? I do actually want to know. I don't know anything specifically that would. Are you thinking of something in particular that I'm missing? Also, Jake Blowbook says this is illegal. Okay, break it up, guys. This is a gathering of more than 2 people. In fact, this is 1,200 people. What have we all done here? We're not meant to gather in large groups. Let's all break it up. Thank you, Jake, man. Hope you're doing well these days. We only accept Welsh here. Yeah, being Irish is a friend. Also, Emily seems suspicious. This is dumb. This is why I'm glad that I'm like not any amount more like paranoid and suspicious than I am. I think I've said before, but like I am suspicious of like a lot of things by default. I'm very paranoid person. I don't like that I'm paranoid. I don't want to be paranoid. It's just like something happens, my default, you know, it's just my state of being that is. It's kind of like that thing with like some people who believe in conspiracy theories are justified because, you know, oh yeah, this thing was a conspiracy theory, then it's true. If we just didn't lie to people, people wouldn't have to come up with conspiracy theories about the world. I mean, some people would, but like, once you've been lied to, it's kind of like, you know, once someone's been cheated on once, they are always slightly more suspicious of the next people. It's like when you kick a dog when it's young. Not that I've done this, but if you kick a dog, it's like always suspicious. Or like when you leave a dog, or like when you pick up a shelter dog, it never likes you leaving because it's like, but you're never gonna come back like my lost owner. Anyway, that's my understanding. I'm not a dog person, but like that's the most heartbreaking thing. But like, I still think it's funny that like I'm a cat person. Really, I know this is dumb. I know you don't like it, but like I feel like I prefer cats to dogs. But like we have 2 major household pets. There are cats which vaguely tolerate your existence, and there are dogs which love your like every move. And it's like, we have these things that we love and, you know, that really we don't deserve. But that or cats, it's like a big debate in the world, you know? It's like, I don't know how this is a debate. Even though I like cats, don't get me wrong. Even though I grew up with cats. It's like, man, cats, they sure be, it's kind of like, hey, thank you, Michael Solo, for becoming a channel member. Also, who knew Toy Cat would be a cat person, says Angry Rat. I wouldn't have expected it. How did this even happen? What are the odds, right? But thanks so much for becoming a cheap cat, Mr. Michael Solo. I've been working on the tiers, actually, for membership recently. I don't want to talk about it too much, because, like, become a member at whatever tier you feel like you can afford and want support. But I tried to make support cat, like, a more valuable tier for the people that have it recently. And, yeah, it's a thing that's, like, a work in progress, basically. So, for example, is the feeling of the number of people on stream too much flattery for the potential downsides, not being able to respond to everyone? By the way, long time Twitch viewers viewer here says replace kebab. Man, your name, I'm not sure what it means, but I'm always worried it's got like racial undertones. So I'm always like, oh god, should I be saying this guy's name out loud? I'm glad you like the channel, by the way, Mr. Kebab, as you shall now be known. I think the best, wait, took as a cat person, shonk, you what, mate? I think the best in terms of like being able to respond to your audience, like every form of YouTuber has its own little upsides and downsides. People like to act like being a big YouTuber is the only good one. Oh, like you might think that like the bigger the YouTube, the better, right? But the truth is, the bigger a YouTuber you are, it's almost like with more rights comes more responsibilities, you know? Great power comes great responsibility or whatever. But like when you're a small YouTuber, you can do whatever you want. Do you wanna switch your content halfway through your 3rd video from being all about, you know, Minecraft tutorials to, you know, you drinking entire cans in 4 seconds? 6 hats here, 'cause my rescue kitty had kittens and I couldn't let them leave. Yeah, if you get a rescue cat and it has cats, you can't send those cats back, or you've removed negative cat. You've added positive cats to the rescue system. I totally feel that, but also 6 cats is too many. Hate to break it to you, friend. It's too many cats. Too many cats. But yeah, by the way, this week my intention is to finish this project. I don't know how long we have to stream for to do that. There's gonna be some long streams in it, but I'm looking forward to doing this regardless. Because we did like a bunch of challenge runs. I want to do that again, but I just want to spend some time being calm, being chill, having a chat, you know. Let's have a good talk about the world. Who likes volcanoes? Me. I used to be fascinated by volcanoes because like it's, you know, whenever you like dive really deep in a field, you wonder like why is this not more common knowledge about something in that field at least, right? So, for instance, like, you know, when you first dive into volcanoes, it's like, someone should really let everyone know that, you know, whichever volcano it is like really overdue for an eruption. Like, really, really overdue for an eruption. So we're going to take both of these. We're going to mix them together later. But for now, this is what we've done if you want to see the scale of what we've got so far. It's pretty good, and because ice kind of hardens the further away from it you get, it gets better and better. This is one of the benefits of Bedrock's, like, bad rendering, in my opinion. Is it looks like properly solidly icy. And now we just need to work on removing those glowstone, I'd say. We could replace the glowstone with, like, something else. Actually, no, the stalactites are pretty good. Stalagmites. Stalactites? I'm not sure. We'll remove the stalactites. We'll put glowstone where the stalactites are, maybe. That could be a good idea. Yeah, I kind of like that as a concept. I'm not sure if I have a better idea than that. But yeah, so right now, they're the biggest, like, thumbs that stick out. That also has to be covered in ice, though. So that should be our next target once we finish the last few blocks around here. Like this little corner. Kind of ugly. Because up there, we spent a lot of time on it, but it's actually not as necessary as I figured. So, oops. You know, you live, you learn. Hey, don't spoil the 2020 disaster calendar. See, get this right. What if the Mayans were just bad at counting and 2012 is actually 2020? People say that all the time, but it's like, we are so lucky that the current epidemic, I don't like to talk about it too much. I don't, you know, like, it's all over the news everywhere else, but just, so you know, like, when it comes to doom and gloom, there's enough out there, and there are reasons to be doomy and gloomy. But we are so fortunate that we are being attacked by a disease which is, you know, like, at worst has a fatality rate of, you know, 10-20%, but when properly managed is less than 1%. If we can properly manage it. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get as few people as infected, and we're trying to get the fatality rate down to that 1%. But when we're talking about, you know, like the grand scheme of diseases, there are so many diseases that can have, you know, kill rates in the 20s, the 30, 40%, etc. And when you're talking about something that is likely going to infect a significant portion of the global population, it's like, thank God that it's like 1%. Like, geez, this was a close one, eh? Because this is a disease that's like transmittable before it's got symptoms. If you play Plague Inc., you know that's the bad one. And it's like, man, we are beyond lucky that it is this, you know. We had a close call, humanity did just here. And although it's still going to be hard to recover from this close call, it's kind of like, you know, whenever something's bad. Actually, this is an important part of, like, I'd say, like, it's I think it's a philosophical concept. Like, it's just a way to view life. Stoicism. A lot of people don't appreciate how much goes into making the world how it is right now. It's so easy to criticize the world. It's so easy to say things are awful until you realize how much effort goes into making them not awful at their current, you know, state. Also, we're not going to go this way. We're going to build out from here. So we're going to place some scaffolding down. I guess out from the side. I'm not too sure what the best. Actually, wait. Place from there, and then like slowly angle to the side. As much as we can. Okay, is that as much as we can? That is as much as we can. But, yeah, okay, so crouching's hard. You have to, like, jump to crouch on this stuff. But we live in a, like, wildly complex world that takes a lot to get done. You need to appreciate, like, when something goes bad, it's not that we were incredibly lucky. It's that, like, we could have been so much worse off. There are always pandemics. There's always, you know, there's so many volcanoes about to explode that aren't. We are lucky every day they don't explode. We're not unlucky the one day they choose to explode, because we knew they were going to explode anyway. Sure, if there's a volcano we just didn't know about that happens, you know, for instance, we've known about the risk of a thing like this happening, like a illness that's that has symptoms before it's that is transmissible before it has symptoms. We've worried about, and we've you know spoken about this for a while. We just haven't dealt with it properly. And it's like, man, we are lucky beyond belief that this isn't worse. It's bad now. Imagine how much badder, which is definitely the word for worse, it could get. So yeah, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna, if we bridge over from here, oh, it's the same number of blocks away. Never mind. Please don't fall off the edge. And okay, good save. But yeah, it's always a reminder that, like, you know, everything sure seems, from the wrong perspective, everything can seem awful. But the truth is that, you know, everything is about perspective. But when you're talking about this thing, I think, like, we are very lucky. We are very lucky. When are you going to do your speedrun, says Logan Soroka. I want to see, actually, wait, right now, do you want to see, just, like, on the spot, let's just see what the world record is for any percent glitchless. So, right now, oh, wait, look at this, so, screen cap. Oh, I've got my thing leveled out wrong. Okay, so this is screen cap, I think it is. Hello, internet. I am now over my browser. So yeah, here you can see I was 4th with my run from 17 days ago. A guy beat it 14 days ago, and then in the last 3 days, a couple of people have gone over and tried to do that too. Obviously, this is excluding the 1.5.2 run. I don't like counting that because it's like, well, you know, they used a bug that can only exist in that version of the game, or like a feature. It's whatever it is. So yeah, right now we're 4th in the world. I'd like to come back to 1st, get that 4 minutes and 19 seconds off the run. We can totally do that sometime this week, I think. Maybe Thursday would be fun. I don't want to give people like speedrun, what would it be like, satiation? Saturation. I don't like, no, what's the word? Like, I don't want to like overdo it. Because I get like, it's not everyone's favorite thing. You've always got to be careful of that one, like, of assuming everyone likes the things that you like. This is a thing that like is very hard to do, as people will admit. Like, oh yeah, sometimes there are things I enjoy that not everyone around me enjoys with me. It's hard to admit, but sometimes you got to do it. And yeah, even though speedrun streams are like very well viewed, a lot of people, thankfully, choose to support them, etc. Wait, also, okay, we got this. But, oh, by the way, you want to see chat? Wait, okay. Just, while we're here anyway, actually, do you know what I'm going to do? Gonna promote Toy Cat Christmas merch, but it's in March. I saw a Minecraft server do like a Christmas merch in March promotion. I felt very horrified, personally. I love the speedruns, says Chunky9. Thank you very much, speedruns, says yes. I'm glad you like them. They're definitely like a fun thing to have as here on the channel, I'd say. It's just also you gotta be controlled about them, I feel like. Maybe I'm crazy. I hope I'm crazy. That would be darn nice, eh? So I'm going to remove the bits of Netherrack from back there because they're super, super ugly. Let's just pray we get as much of this as possible. Was never going to be very much. Also, it's December in the Nether. Man, I honestly, I love Christmas tunes because everyone hates them so much. So I've been singing like, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. Like, I've been just whistling it all week. Should we whistle it right now? You know what, who's going to stop me? You going to stop me, internet? I bet you can't stop me. You think you can. But you can't. This is good lemonade, by the way. If you live in the US, it's called Mike's. Very, very solid lemonade. Again, like, I'm a big fan of, like, I don't like the logic of, like, oh yeah, let's drink drinks that are somewhere on the not so awful spectrum. I'd rather just drink a drink that I actually enjoy. And that happens, you know, if it's alcoholic or whatever. And this definitely fits that. Like, I love a good lemonade. This, like, uses its weird flavor. Oh no, we're gonna die. To do a thing. Drink me a fishbowl, sir. Man, when I've just drank, it's way harder to whistle. I chose the wrong order on those two activities. Yeah, more plastic straw. More plastic straw, you say, Palm Tree 121? That's right, we got lemon and lime plastic straws today. Where can I buy you merch, Toy Cat? You can click the link down below. I actually have 2 merch stores. Again, I don't have any like serious plans or income streams of merch. A lot of YouTubers promote it super heavy because that's, you know, how they know they get results. My plan is like, if you want it, you can pick it up. Shirts.ibxtoycat.com or the link down below. They take you to 2 different stores. They have different rules and whatever else going on with them. But yeah, also, plastic straws, no, says El Chisas. I disagree. Plastic straws, yes. Best type of straw. If you think any other straw's good,
Watching speedruns is
straws.
like watching sports for people who prefer video games.
I like that explanation, actually. It really, to me, it really is like the, every year there's something called, Awesome, no, it's, is it Awesome Games Done Quick? I don't actually know what the A is. There's definitely an A in there somewhere. Thank you so much, Pookie Hems, though. Really appreciate it. Also, Brandon Hampton. Put up my Christmas tree yesterday. Oh, I totally need to get a Christmas tree put up. Like, I think I'm moving in the summer, so, like, probably a bad idea to put up at this house. But, like, I want a Christmas tree, and I want it in March. So that way, when I don't take it down next January, no one can judge me, because it's like, well, this is a year-round Christmas tree. I hate the amount of effort that goes into, like, starting and, you know, like, moving is a lot of effort. Moving things around your house is a lot of effort. Getting a new piece of furniture. It's just all very tricky stuff to do. So, you know what I'm really passionate about? I'm really passionate about Christmas tree. I mean, really anything to do with Christmas. That'd be great. Also, but yeah, so I totally agree with the speedrun being kind of like a sports thing. I do really get super excited for it. Also, House Tour 2. It's really sad, because I'm moving, like, closer to central London. Again, who knows where that will be by the end of this year. But my intention is to move closer to central London. So I'm, so as a result of that, I am going to have to I'm going to be paying, like, more for significantly less house. Because I value location over house size or whatever. It's going to be a sad house tour. It's going to be like, here is the room, here is the other room. That's where I pee. Hope you enjoyed the run. Or the tour, guys. But I mean, you know, that's the funny thing. Like, you have to trade off, like, everything to live in a city. Literally, like, house size, noise, privacy, etc. And in exchange, it's like, oh yeah, but there's a taco place just around the corner that does really good tacos. So it's kind of worthwhile. Also, took as yes, and Daniel is not the best, says Dan. Oh, it's Dan again. I remember. I think we made fun of you at one point. I'm very sorry. You probably deserved it, but also sorry anyway. Also sorry anyway. Remember when you used the sausages a lot? Oh man, that sausage was so gross, Jibe. I am still having nightmares about the sausage lock. But yeah, I say that's my 350-foot apartment. I don't know how much a square, like, how much, like, footage is in apartments, because, like, there are very, like, there's, like, measurements for house, but they vary in the UK, they vary, like, across the world. I never even looked into them, so, like, 350 feet sounds like a lot. I'm only 6 feet, so you can fit, like,
My birthday is on Christmas, so sing or whistle away, my friend. Love Christmas tunes. Where can I send this one of 100s of glass bowls I have? I do event decor, so needless to say my company is shut down.
Oh man, you have the glass fish bowls that I need in my life, Ryan Waite. So first of all, awesome that your birthday's on Christmas. Like, tragic as a child, because, like, actually probably tragic as an adult too, but, like, when you're a child, you totally just got combined presents, which is their way of saying, haha, get born on Christmas, don't get a second set of gifts, you sucker. But, yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about the combined birthday Christmas thing, and also sorry to hear about the thing, but mostly happy to hear that you love the Christmas things. It's a fairly small studio. But yeah, I'm slightly smaller than 6 feet, so you can fit, like, 50 humans the size of a toy cat in there. I'm assuming you're, like, roughly, you're, like, somewhere in that short range too. You can fit, like, 60 of yourself in an apartment. What? You could kidnap 50 identical clones of yourself, or, again, just 50 identical clones of me, kidnap them, put them in your apartment, wouldn't even cause, you'd still have plenty of room for the bathroom and the fridge. That's all I'm saying. Drink out of a whole fish tank, says Alcazol. Wouldn't that be fun if I had like a fish tank that I filled with alcoholic liquid? I put like some pretend fish in there. And then we just like... Actually, that's a good idea. Let's get a fish tank and let's just use it for drinks. Just to make people question what's going on here, you know? If you read this, you have to break 10 pieces of pipe with Silk Touch losses for gaming. Ah, you think you understand how reading works. But fun fact, if you read things, you don't have to do the things they say. Checkmate, friend. Checkmate. So Toycat, this is where the ice caps have gone. I'll admit, I did mine the ice caps. I did do most of that myself. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't want all of the ice caps to go. But yet they did. But yet they did. Have you seen the 1-to-1 scale Minecraft mod of the Earth? Is it a Minecraft mod? I've seen that there's someone who's trying to build all the like major cities in Minecraft. Because the problem with the scaled version of the Earth is that it only can approximate terrain very roughly. And the things that make cities interesting are not the terrain, it's the things humans have built. Actually, that's the thing I always like disagree with a lot of people about. Like, nature is really pretty and I do like nature. But the most impressive thing about the world is the things humans have done to it. Like, if you showed an alien, I don't know, Mesa National Park, is that a thing? Those words sound correct to me. If you show, yeah, if you show the Grand Canyon, am I wearing a Grand Canyon hoodie? I'm not, damn it. If you show an alien the Grand Canyon and you show them New York City or Tokyo, Japan, or London, you know. Sorry, it's kind of unfair. London's the greatest city in the world. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, probably not these days, but you know, like it's if you show them those two things and then you say, oh yeah, people actually leave London to go to the Grand Canyon. You're like, the alien would be like, there's a hole in the ground from 50,000 years ago. You find more interesting than your literal city. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? So yes, the state of mind is through this sport we become one. Improve this. Wow, and that is a weird cult in my live chat right there. When we make the trip to the far lands, if you do it in survival, you just have to admit you're losing everything in survival, which is fine. Don't be wrong, but it slows you down on the way there. If we get a second mending elytra, we could probably get there in what, like? No, it would take a very long time. We're not gonna promise that one actually. Okay, so let's fly. Pull up. Okay, didn't work. Didn't work. Keep on flying down. All the way down. And oh god, I don't have the firework. Almost died because of that. Almost died. Good thing I was below ground, because that could have killed me. So we're gonna fly up, fly down. Oh, it's so good when you get the perfect elytra flight. Also, your file size is really huge. Imagine trying to go millions, it looks small. Yeah, a lot of people don't appreciate like my file size being so huge because I did that Nether walk all those years ago. That's the reason I can't release my Nether map so easily. Like I need like a specialist to work on it, and then those specialists haven't always been so great with the results. But like yeah, having a large file size is cool as a theory, but man, you do not want it in practice. Let me tell you that much, internet. So yeah, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna place down our shocker boxes because we got a bunch of packed ice in there, and we want to take the packed ice out and put it over here. And then we're gonna fill this with more ice, which we'll take out today. Actually, you know what? Let's use all of the. Okay, man, I need to work out what I'm doing here. So we'll put the Nether quartz in there. Why not? Take this out, and now we've got like 3 slots at a time. Not the most efficient way to do things, but it's the way we've decided today, apparently. So that's all the packed ice, and then we get some more, except I missed a slot. Just inventory out, inventory out. This is so horribly inefficient. I'm sorry if I hurt you, internet. I just need to get some things done. That's all. There we go, though. Got the packed ice in, got our ice back out. And this is going to be the kind of like, you know, last mega run for the day, I reckon. Let's do it. We have a stream on Twitch. I'm not a big fan of Twitch, sadly. They don't have the business, like, I have lots of, there's lots of things. Let's not start on Twitch. As an end user, you don't have to necessarily care. But as someone who cares about making a fair and open industry, I don't like Twitch. I don't think they don't have the. There's this problem on the internet of, like, I spoke earlier about how the YouTube algorithm is like this monstrous thing that was designed by people to maximize, you know, YouTube's relevance and existence, etc. Twitch is the opposite. It's a bunch of people who all had good intentions. You know, actually, you know, I spoke earlier about, like, oh yeah, like, being paranoid seems super dumb until you realize there's good reasons for it. And, yeah, I'd say, like, okay, so we're gonna just place this down for now. We'll have plenty of time to pick it up later. I'd say there's a very similar thing with, there's a very similar thing with, like, you at some point in life you think, like, oh yeah, all you need to do is tell people to do the good thing, and they'll do a good thing. We just need to have more things in life which are designed by people who want to do great things. But even people who want to do great things often end up making huge mistakes. Twitch is a company which is very much based on relationships. You know how I was talking about, like, I don't like the idea of, like, you having to know someone to get something done? Twitch is a very, even though it's a big company, like, your relationships with people on the sites, I mean, interpersonal, not necessarily romantic, although maybe that one too, am I right? But, like, your relationships with the people on the sites are super, super key there to getting anything done. The contracts are not fair and equal. The bigger you are, the less of your money Twitch will take from you. And the contracts are hidden, which takes away negotiating power. Again, like, so many companies are all about doing the right thing until they realize they can make a little bit of money by doing something that's arguably not even that wrong. And I feel like Twitch is like that to, like, the most extreme level of, like, it's just a site trying to do good with video game streaming. They're just all over the place. Anyway, I'm not a fan of Twitch. I feel like it's the only thing I like more about Twitch, the only reason I even consider it, is because at the very least you can keep it separated. Like, if YouTube decides to ban me, I right now would lose my channel and my live streaming thing. The cool thing about Twitch, at least, is, like, hey, if they decide, you know, if Twitch bans me, I don't lose my YouTube. If YouTube bans me, I don't lose my Twitch. So I can stream or YouTube and vice versa. But personally, I like the logic of, like, having all your stuff being in one place. And we just pray the magic bots don't kill us. But yeah, Twitch had, like, super weird reason for not partnering me all the way back in the day. They're like, oh yeah, here are the requirements to be partnered. A bunch of people got partnered without meeting the requirements because they just spoke to the right people at Twitch and, like, you know, the right ways. Whereas even though I met both of the requirements, like, whatever, it was a whole thing, they're like, sorry, we cannot partner you at this time. Meaning you can't stream at the right bit rates. Your YouTube, your viewers have to watch at, like, super garbage bit rates. Basically, quality would be super low because they don't care unless you're partnered. And also, you wouldn't be able to make money. So, no money, low quality streaming, or YouTube, where everyone's just treated the same. I have 1 million subscribers, right? I am treated by YouTube the same right now as I was when I had 64 subscribers. That treatment is admittedly very close to indifference, but I genuinely like that. I don't like unequal treatment. Even everyone, no, a lot of people say they don't like unequal treatment. What they mean is, I want to have all the unequal treatment myself. And there's probably a part of that true for everyone. Like, there's a type of unequal treatment you'd like for you. But I hate the idea that, like, oh yeah, I don't know the right people. Or I know the right people, I get this ahead. And I don't know the right people, well, good luck doing X, Y, Z. Anyway, you know, Twitch drama, whole fun thing. Way more important things in the world right now. I think we can all vaguely agree on. But yeah, that's why I won't respond to a headhunt by Twitch. There has to be a lot of zeros at the end of that check before they can interest me with their thing. Because again, if you use a lot of social media sites are very secretive. I actually had pretty big offers from I had offers from both Facebook and TikTok to go over to their platforms. Like, I stopped streaming here, I start streaming there. But because they were so darn secretive about it, because they just didn't, if they offer you something, they don't want other people to be able to use that to work out how much they should be offered. In other words, they want to offer you the minimum amount possible. based on your circumstance, and they don't want you to think that you should be worth more, which is ridiculous. Again, all these companies, these these companies are very, usually in very some form of liberal, right? But also, they hate the idea of having fair contracts. There's a whole thing anyway. Do you keep live stream private because you put more real opinions out there? I private them because I just don't think a 2.5-hour video is something most people want to watch, and or like an hour, 50-minute video, or whatever this will end up being. And they do really bad in the algorithm, so it hurts the rest of the channel by comparison. Maybe one day it'd be fun to like put out a bunch. I don't know. Maybe it'd be fun to like keep them all public for a week or something. But in my experience, it's just kind of bad. Again, this is one of those things to have companies too. Like, I'm glad I don't work with many companies, but most of them would give like lower amounts because they'd be like, oh, your average views are much lower. And you can explain like that was a live stream, but they'll be like, even if it's a live stream, proves people don't want to watch you, right? I don't know, like being tracked by all metrics by YouTube is a good thing when you're improving those metrics, but there's no like human understanding for if you can't catch the metrics. Does normal ice not melt in the Nether? Says 2023 C cigar. Honestly, I don't know why it doesn't melt in the Nether. It probably should, right? I have a real understanding of the fact that, like, there's no logic to what's happening here. But in spite of that, it is in fact happening here. So we live with that, we deal with that. We don't question it, and that's just how our life is. So, do you speak a second language? I wish I spoke a second language. But I don't. Yeah, as soon as I learned that ice didn't melt in the Nether, I was like, hell yes, am I gonna place ice all over it? All over my Nether, you get it? Hell yes, haha. I'm funny. I'm very good. This is why people watch me. I spend more people watching Toget streams than I do talking to real people, says Jibe. This is that thing I was talking about earlier about, like, the amount of time you spend with people is so low compared to the amount of time you spend with, yourself. But also the people you... Like, the truth is there are very few people in the world that are worth spending even 2 hours of your week with, right? Most people, you're not gonna, like, what are they gonna give you for that time? It's not gonna be a huge amount. But, yeah, apparently here, we're a thing. Hey, been a fan for a while. First stream for me. Oh, I missed Taco Daddy's first time playing the Toy attacks. Smite should be applied to the tears after they use Taunt Fun Dying. It's in the name, right? I like that as a concept. But yeah, thanks so much, got you, Fenian, for the stream tip. It means a lot. Hope you're having a good day, my man. Oh, Jesus! So scary falling off something high. Like, my blood pressure, I don't know how to describe it. My blood pressure genuinely raised a little bit there. Hey, thank you very much, Cat Girl. Hope all is well for you. That is that. Wait. I can do some dumb maths and be like, hey, £2. If you convert that into feet, that's like 1/5 of your apartment. That is how the imperial system works. Everything converts to each other into units that don't make sense anyway. But thank you very much. Sam, I watched a lot of this cat playing Minecraft. It's fun because with video game streamers, there's this like really simple progression of like everyone always starts watching specifically for the game. That's why there's more people who watch when we do something interesting game-wise than if we do something interesting talk-wise. Like, even if your favorite thing in the world is when I talk about philosophy, which, I don't even know how it ends up happening. Like, I don't ever intend to talk about it. It just happens, okay? I'm sorry. Even if that's your favorite thing in the world, there are far fewer people interested in that than are interested in just like, oh yeah, it's Toy Cat trying to beat a world record. It's simple, it's easy, etc, etc. It's been cheap for me to donate pounds because it's worth less now, says Cat Gal. Oh yeah, our currency just nosedive. Like, to me, this is a weird thing. Like, even though, as a result, like, all of the... Like, that guy Madison just gave $2, says Daddy Toy Cat. Concerned by it, by the way. Mason, by the way, not Madison. Madison would be an interesting name for a dude. Has anyone here ever met a dude called Madison? Because I feel like I have without knowing it. Anyway, the thing about the even though like the pound going down is really good for me because I get paid mostly in dollars. So the guy, Mason just gave me $2. About 5 years ago, that was worth £1, or like £1.20. Then like till recently it was worth like £1.50, and then until literally 3 weeks ago, it had been worth like £1, 60 or something. Now it's like 170, 180. Like it's our currency is crashing compared to the dollar. And even though like personally I gained from that a lot, a part of me is like, oh, that's like not a good sign for a country. That's like our country is being bet against on a huge level. And when things are like already kind of spooky scary, it's like, oh no, I am concerned. I am very concerned. So there's a cowboy in a romance novel called Madison. Oh man, that super chat makes me uncomfy. Yeah, you know what? It's a bit. I get paid on the internet. People call me daddy. That is what I exist as. It's just something we accept, That's just who I am. That's what happens, and that's okay, That's okay. So yeah, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it regardless, because you know what, things are going crazy, and the one thing that's not seems to be this is why I like these streams. Like, I never like to dive too much into like what I get from them, because it's in reality when you're putting content on the internet, the most important thing is like what the viewer gets. Is the viewer getting what they want? Because if they don't, then you've probably done some level of bad job. Also, thank you very much, your boy Brendan Hampton, moving to London September. Wish me luck. Basically the same, man. We'll basically be neighbors. Statistically, there's like a 1 in 8 million chance we are actually neighbors. If so, please never mention it to me. Just don't mention it. Just, you see I'm your neighbor, don't tell me, because I'll be paranoid forever that you'll come in and steal my stuff one day. Or actually, more realistically, like come in and skin my head and use it for, scalp me, I guess, and then use it for a, I don't know, a reenactment of the Let's Play. I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't want to know if we're neighbors, but you can keep it to yourself. It's okay. But yeah, like I like these streams. It's a good opportunity to be surrounded by mostly level-headed people, right? And when people aren't level-headed, they accept like when you talk about it, they're like, oh yeah, everything is kind of cool. It's a calm place. Maybe it's because like I try not to be every other YouTuber. It's like, hey, it's wacky, it's crazy, we're gonna be doing this.
Good evening, Toy Cat. Person shrugging, medium light skin tone, female sign, good night.
It is very late in the night. I've been having like real sleep issues recently. By the way, thank you very much, Jess Sliver. But I've been having like a little bit of sleep issues recently. And my plan today is like, okay, I want to stream for, I was just doing this, like, all I want to do today is just play so much ice. Just ice everywhere. But today, I am going to be like, okay, we can cut ourselves off once we hit like an hour, 50 minutes. Because I said earlier, this video is now 50 minutes. That's where we're going to cut it. And you know what? We've gone suspiciously close to an hour and 50 minutes. So what we're going to do is chat. Who wants to take the fall on this one? Instead of me, if it was wacky and crazy, I wouldn't be here. Yeah, there's so many YouTubers out there like that. I don't know how so many more also think, what if I'm exactly like every other YouTuber? But, I mean, it works for them. So maybe they're the one doing it wrong. Who wants to take the full internet? Because we're going to blame you. It's going to be all on you. You got to be willing for that. You got to be willing to have 1,000 people, be mad that you're the reason the stream's ending. Because it's got to very much not be my fault. That's the plan right here. Me, says Jason Elpap. Wait, it's my fault, says Porygon Q. Okay, this Porygon Q fella, he just it's his fault. We have to end. Oh, actually, they could be. It's their fault. This Porygon Q person has officially caused the stream to come to an end. We were here to place all of our ice, and then Porygon Q comes along and decides to mess it all up. Everyone, give a quick shout out. Boo to Porygon Q. Boo, Porygon Q. Boo. It's all their fault. It's all their fault. This would be so much better if it weren't for them. Grape Juice Horror says, how is you? I'm doing pretty good today, actually. I'm trying, like, if I can get, like, I feel like there's so many things in life that are so simple to mess up. Like, so simple to sort, but also so simple to mess up. And right now, like, sleep has been my bane as a result. But, okay, we're gonna place a few more blocks of ice. Just over here is a good place to start. Look at that. We can easily place some. And then we can say, thank you very much, everyone on the internet, for watching today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I will be continuing tomorrow, because this is a big survival project. I want to get this finished this week. Like, we've got most of the ice placed. We've just got to place a little bit. Oh, Jesus, that was weird. We've got to place, like, probably a few more hours worth of ice on the other side. Because, like, we've got some over here. Okay, it's too late. I'm getting too tired to fly around without taking too much damage. I've got a few more bits I have to place, a few more complex things here and there. But for the most part, things are going well in the Nether. We've now made the Nether from like a place that has a few bits of ice to a mostly icy place. And I think we need to place a lot of snow tomorrow. So tomorrow, instead of focusing on ice, we'll focus on snow. We'll get that covered in snow. It'll be great. You can see me tomorrow at like this time, but 3 hours ago. Hey, Porygon Q, you see them? They did that. They paid me money to end this stream. I am disappointed in Porygon Q. This is all their fault. Darn it, what am I gonna do? It's, you know, hashtag capitalism. I can't not do the things that people pay me money to do. That's the way the world works. Someone pays you to do something, you have to do it. Thank you for the many streams, says Mischievous. Yeah, I want to help as many people as possible who are in the same situation of, like, locked inside. Just want to calm, rational thought about this, rather than people who are literally, like, you know, retweet this and the world won't end. It's like, you know what? It's okay. If you watch the stream, world won't end. If you don't watch the stream, world won't end either. But we can have a cool time. We can place some ice in the Nether, and we can realize that, like, man, big Minecraft projects feel so cool when you see the progress you've done at the end of it. And I'm looking forward to seeing this tomorrow, but even more. You want to see some snow placed in the Nether? See you tomorrow at, like... Okay, wait. Google right now, if you don't know time zones, like, 10 p.m. UK time. 10 p.m. UK time. I Google 10 p.m. UK time, and it says 10 p.m. UK time is 2200 o'clock in the UK, because that's where I live. Google it for yourself. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Wait, this is a better ending. Goodbye.